Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and the Washington Commanders just released their first depth chart, so we have a lot to talk about. We'll be going over some of the surprises and also be going over things we expected, also who's going to be the punt returner and kick returner, and I'll also give you guys a quick recap of today's practice at the end of today's video. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content, hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video, and check out real-time fantasy sports, link in the description. So this is the first depth chart that they released, but it is an unofficial depth chart. So later, I believe maybe after the preseason and stuff, once the roster is finalized, they'll release an actual depth chart, which does mean a little bit more than this one, because this is what it says on the top. Important notice: the following depth chart is unofficial and is compiled by commanders.com. We will be updating the depth chart once 2022 signings are official. And I bet you some of these, coaches told them like, oh, this player is going to be playing this position, maybe, telling them to put them in certain positions. But for the most part, I don't really think this depth chart matters too much. But we're going to get into it nonetheless, and then we'll recap today's practice, which I went to. So we'll start off with the first receiver position, and that has, they have a keeping Terry at the number 1, then De'Ami Brown at 2, Mark and Michelle at 3, and Kyrick McCowan at 4, and that is just at one receiver position. You look at the other receiver position, I'll go all the way down for that. You got Curtis Samuel as 1, and that's in the slot. Then you got Dax Milne as a 2 in the slot, and then Alex Erickson and Matt Cole. So Dax Milne ahead of Alex Erickson. And then the other outside position, you got Jahan at 1, Cam Sims at 2, Kelvin Harmon at 3. So very interesting. Now let's go. QB is very obvious. Where do they have QB? We know the QB was going to be this. It was going to be Carson Wentz, Heineke, and then Sam Howell. Let's go to offensive line real quick. So left tackle. Actually, let's just do the starting offensive line first. So Charles Leno at left tackle, Andrew Norwell at left guard, Chase Roulier at center, Trey Turner at right guard, Sam Cosmi at right tackle. And I agree with most of that, just that we haven't seen Trey Turner play at all. He's still injured. So, if he's not injured, then I think he could be the starter. Depends on, when he comes back. But if he's, injured when the season starts, or just, right before the season starts, then I could see Wes Schweitzer being that starting right guard. You keep looking. So backup left tackle is Cornelius Lucas. He can play backup left tackle or right tackle. Then you got Rashad Hill, who they recently signed, and then Aaron Monteiro. And then you got at left guard, Norwell, Chris Paul as a backup, Willie Beavers, DeLon Calhoun. And then at center, Chase Roulier, Tyler Larson, Keith Ismail, and then John Toth. And the right guard, Trey Turner, Schweitzer, and then Nolan Leffenberg. And then Sam Cosmi at right tackle, followed by Sadiq Charles, and then Alex Akimbulo. And then Sadiq Charles, he's really a player that can play anywhere on that offensive line besides center. So that's kind of the offense. Oh, we forgot running back. So running back, Gibson, McKissick, Brian Robinson, then Jonathan Williams. So that's interesting. I think Jonathan Williams has looked good. I still would put, Patterson over him, and I just don't think, I think if you release Patterson, there's a chance someone picks him up. You release Jonathan Williams, I don't think anyone's picking him up. You can bring him back onto the practice squad and, maybe bring him back to the roster eventually. Jarrett Patterson would have a chance, and then Reggie Bonafon, who's, looked all the running backs have looked pretty good. Gibson actually was taking a lot of reps with the 2s today. It was kind of a mix between Robinson and Gibson with the 1s, but I think Robinson honestly got more reps with the 1s today than Gibson did. McKissick wasn't practicing today, but he's not really RB2 or RB1. He's just the pass-catching running back. He's a pass-catching running back, the best one by far, who, occasionally will take some carries as well. Only thing I disagree with here is Patterson behind Williams, but I understand it because Williams has looked good, but I think Patterson has as well. So that's kind of the offensive side of the, that's the offensive side right there. Defense, Starting, we'll just go DN. So Montez Sweat, then Casey Toole, then William Bradley King, then Jacob Punasluk or whatever. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that, but he's the guy who's wearing 91. Then at D tackle, you got Deron Payne, then Fedarian Mathis, Daniel Wise, Justin Hamilton. Other D tackle spot, Jonathan Allen, David Bada, Efio Bada, Tyler Clark. Then the other DN spot, Chase Young, James Smith Williams, Shaka Toney, and Bunmi Rotimi. And then you got outside linebacker, you got Jamin Davis, then Khaleke Hudson, DeJohn Harris, and Nate Gary or Jerry. But, he's probably going to move up the depth chart in a little bit, but he just signed here. Then you got middle linebacker Cole Holcomb, Mayo, Eifler, and then Walker. And yeah, no really surprises there. Outside linebacker, I think Jamin Davis and Khaleke are going to be the main guys. Maybe Gary eventually, and then Cole Holcomb's going to be the middle linebacker. But they play 2 linebacker sets a lot, so it's not really going to be a Mike per se. It's just, sometimes it will, but a lot of times it'll just be Jamin Davis and Cole Holcomb, or Cole Holcomb and Khaleke Hudson, or if there's 3 linebackers, Holcomb, Davis, and Hudson. And maybe Mayo sometimes. And then cornerback, you got Kendall Fuller and Corn Elder, Troy Apke, DeJuan Neal as that, first outside group right there. Then in, the other outside group, you got William Jackson III, Christian Holmes, Channing Stribling, and Devontae Bosby. And then Benjamin St. Juste as a starting corner, or, slot corner. Then Danny Johnson, and then Josh Drayden. So, again, no real surprise. It's just like whenever these come out, I'm always like in my head, man, does this really mean anything? Because, they say Commanders.com made it, but at the same time, it could be a little bit influenced by the coaches and stuff. So, because obviously they have great access to these coaches. They can ask them questions whenever they want. They can ask them, how do you want me to present this? So, some of this could have actual meaning towards it. But, Christian Holmes looked good. I agree with it, having him as the second outside guy. And I kind of agree with most of the corner things right there. And then safety, strong safety, got Cam Curl, Derek Forrest, Farrod Gardner, and Stephen Parker. And then free safety, Bob McCain, Percy Butler, Jeremy Reeves. Agree with that. Interesting, though, Reeves has been solid. He's got a bunch of interceptions. Interesting that he's behind Percy Butler. Because I feel like, they don't really have, obviously, on the depth chart, a Buffalo nickel position. But if they did, then I think they would have Percy Butler and Derek Forrest there, and then Reeves as a backup free safety. But, okay, and we actually have to go to special teams as well. No real, big surprises. All these normal guys: Tress Way, Joey Slye, Tress Way again, Cameron Cheeseman, and then kick returner Alex Erickson is, the starting kick returner / punt returner. Then you got for kick returner Kyrick McGowan, Jarrett Patterson, and then punt return Dax Milne, and then Kyrick McGowan. So Dax Milne getting reps as a punt returner. I also was there today. He got some reps as a kick returner. So I think he could be fine at kick returner. And if they keep Jarrett Patterson, he can also do it as well. I think they'll be fine. I don't really see. Originally I was like, okay, I think Alex Erickson's going to make it as a 6th or 7th receiver a couple months ago. But now after actually watching practices, like he's not really doing much. Like he's maybe getting a catch once a practice or something with the third team. Dax Milne is absolutely balling out. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But yeah, no real surprises here. The only thing that really caught my... Oh, shoot, we forgot to go over tight end. I know people were probably like, you missed that. So Logan Thomas is a 1, Bates as a 2, Cole Turner as a 3, Samus Ray as 4, Hodges and Armani Rogers, Eli Wolf and Alex Arma, who is a fullback. No big surprises there. I think you could argue between Cole Turner and John Bates as the, you could switch them, but, I'm fine with Bates as 2. It's just, they're totally different tight ends. And you got Samus at 4. This is just me. I think Armani Rogers has been way better than what I've seen, out of Samus Race in terms of pass catching, and I could say maybe even the same thing as Curtis Hodges. 3 practices I was at, didn't see Samus Reyes catch a ball, so catch a pass. So that's all I'm going to say there. So now real quick, I'll give you guys a quick recap of today's practice. Main thing, Dax Milne, absolute baller. He was looking really good again today, making he had a few catches, no like huge catches, but I think he had a touchdown from Wentz. He had a nice catch where there's some, a lot of contact on the play and some other good plays as well. He is making the team book it. He's been, honestly, like, maybe I'll get some flack for this, but like, I think he's been the third best receiver in camp, and that's, not including Curtis Samuel, just because I have only seen him play once, and obviously Curtis Samuel is a lot better than Dax Milne. So if you're counting Curtis Samuel, then I would say Dax Milne's been the fourth best receiver in camp. Haven't seen, I heard a lot of hype from De'Ami Brown early on, but when I've been there, he's been dropping a couple passes the first practice I was there, and the last two haven't really seen him do much, and he was back both, he was practicing every time I was there. So haven't seen much out of him. I've seen a lot more out of Dax Milne. So I think Dax Milne is making the team, and I could definitely see him as the, being active on game days, especially if he's going to be the returner. So I like what I'm seeing out of Dax Milne, and I think he's had a better camp than De'Ami Brown and Cam Sims for sure. That's just my take, and I think Dax Milne's making the roster, and I think Cam Sims going to make the roster as well because he's a bigger receiver. They don't really have that on this team, so that's my take right there. And then Gibson, we talked about it earlier. He was getting reps with the first team, with the second team, and I think Brian Robinson probably got more reps than him with the first team. They're probably just experimenting there, but, something to watch if this continues to happen or if this happens in the preseason. Definitely something to watch for sure. And besides that, injury update, I think William Jackson III was doing some work in individual drills, but then he went to the side field for 11v11, 7v7. So at least he's getting a little bit better. Cole Turner out, but I didn't see anything on his leg or hamstring or whatever. I think he did have something on earlier, the other day when I saw him. So that's good news, progressing a little bit. Troy Apke's still there. I think I saw Sadiq Charles. I saw Shaka Toney as well. So a lot of guys on the side field today. Logan Thomas, of course, Chase Young, Tyler Larson, the usual there. And I'm trying to think, any other guys that stood out? Oh, man, I forgot. Jahan Dotson, man. Jahan Dotson looked really, really good today. He had a few really, really nice catches. I recorded one. I was going to post a recap of today's practice because I posted a video about Sam Mills earlier. If you guys didn't watch that, go ahead and watch it after this video. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to make a recap video. But then this came out, so I just kind of decided to do a 2-in-1. But he made a really, really nice catch. You know what? I'll just pull it up on my Twitter. I'll pull it up on my Twitter right here. And sorry for the bad camera work. It was just I couldn't zoom in much. But you guys can see this right here. I'll go full screen for you. It won't work with the banner, but you guys can see right here. Wentz is going to throw dot right there, and Dotson makes a catch in the corner of the end zone. So it was a good play by him. He had a couple really nice catches. I think he had 2 touchdowns, and it was kind of debatable for both of them if he got the feet in bounds. I think it was on the opposite side of us both times, so it was really, really tough to tell. But he looked good today. Even had some good catches underneath, short gains, but or short passes that would have went for 8 to 12 yards because he got some yards after the catch. So good day for Jahan. Good day for Kelvin Harmon as well. He continues to ball out, in my opinion. Armani Rogers with another good day. He had a drop, but he had a touchdown catch and played really well overall. And D-line also. D-line was getting in Carson Wentz's face, everyone's face. D-line definitely dominated today. There were multiple times where D-line probably would have gotten a sack, but they, either let him play or they, blew the whistle. And Carson Wentz looked pretty sharp for the most. The most of practice today. He did have kind of a fumble where I don't know if he pump faked it and it just fell out or someone hit it. The linemen were in front of us, so it was hard to see. That was a bad play. And there was another play where it was probably should have been intercepted. Chris Harris was pissed at Benjamin St. Juste or whoever dropped it. So that was one. But he had some really good plays today. And for the 3 practices I was there, he looked sharp. No interceptions, and overall looked good. Not great. I didn't see any wow, that guy is a top 5 QB plays or moments. Not many of them. But I also, for the most part, didn't see any crazy bad plays besides maybe that one fumble I saw today. So good day for the offense for the most part today. Defensive line looked good as well. And the Carson Wentz, there's a Carson Wentz read option play as well. I posted that on my YouTube shorts. So go ahead and check that out. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.